Of Sleeping Bears music just traded with 5 viewers.
Oh! Thanks, Nick! Thanks for the raid! Let's see. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for the delay, everybody. I'm just making a couple of quick posts. That's good enough. Are y'all duking it out in my chat tonight? Okay. Let's see. I'll tweak that down just a smidge. I said a smidge. Okay. Hello, everyone. Oh, hello, Killer. Welcome in. All right. I am sitting straight. I have not yet begun slumping. Okay. 10 streams. Let's go. Yeah, all good, Killer. All right. Yeah, thanks everybody for waiting. Let's see. I'm just gonna throw this into Obsidian real quick, just for a little bit. Oh, that's not what I wanted to open. just so that y'all can kind of see the intro. Okay, and then switch. Nope. Wrong one. This one. I'll get back to my solo Legends of Zakkariiart campaign eventually. Probably after my birthday stream, which is going to take place during June 5th through June 7th. Stay tuned for that. The schedule for that is still kind of in the works. But okay. So, hello everybody. Hello Raiders. I am Zachary, your friendly waypoint in the Vale. I'm gonna have to catch the VOD of this because I'm so interested. Good! I hope this turns out well. Happy early birthday. Maya, it's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks early. Like, more than 2 weeks, really. More like 3 weeks. My birthday's on the 7th. Happy early birthday. well, thanks. Oh no. Okay. Calm down, guys. I'll get the spray bottle. Okay. Would you stop? If that's the case, then you deserve the entire month of April, okay? So. Okay. So yeah, as you can see on the screen, I've got it. Offer you a mango white chocolate. Mango white chocolate? That is a curious combo, but I'll have to pass because I'm not really that big on white chocolate. My birthday is June 7th. Yeah, Chicky can have the cookie. I'm good. Yeah, my birthday is June 7th. I have taken off on the June 5th from work. So, 3 days solid streaming. There's gonna be a little bit of me and Cheeky shenanigans. We're going to do something that we did a couple of years ago, back when nobody watched us. But it'll be fun. Cheeky's gnawing on my arm. Nah. You're on your own with that one, Nick. I did my job. Oh wow, what a birth date. I know. Hime's reaction to it was quite funny. Cause like, I didn't think about it or anything, cause you know, it's my birthday. Like, I've known that date since I was like a foot high. So I didn't think anything of it. It was kind of funny. I hit 67, what was it, a stream streak? I think? Yeah. On, their stream the other night. They didn't notice. Teehee. Better than the 6? Yeah. It would have been funny if, like, I was a few years younger and it was like 2006, but that kind of only mattered once. Yeah. Anyway, we're still like 3 weeks away. a little less. And then tonight, yeah, so this is Eyes on the Prize. You can check it out in the pinned link, the pinned comment link. It's on itch.io. If you got the Mega Bundle, the Anti-Ice Mega Bundle, then you'll have this already in your possession. This is originally a duet game that you can play with 2 players, or alternatively, you could play with 4. Basically, you play as 2 pairings. That's right, you do have it. But I wanted to see if I could play this solo, because the fake marriage trope is a favorite of mine for dramas and books and stuff. It is not Cheeky's favorite trope. She puts up with me whenever I sit her down in front of like a K-drama. Oh yeah, have fun with your game, Amaya. Thanks for coming by. And I've been playing, well, working on playing my Ballads of Dawn game, which is also sort of like the same kind of period type setting where there's royals, there's court intrigue, there's, you know, nobles flitting around and stuff. Oh, killer. You've had a headache all day. Cut yourself some slack. And you're about to start a new job. And there's a lot of streamer shenanigans going on that you're helping with. Woohoo, Tinin! Look at that! You're tied with Amaya now. There are a lot of shenanigans, yeah. Yeah, I just signed up for more shenanigans. It's I'm gonna be quite busy. Yeah, but 3.5 hours is quite a while. Okay. Yeah, so this game is designed for duets, but I'm going to attempt to solo it. Also too, it would be interesting because I know a lot of people may have a hard time, you know, what's the word? Broaching the topic, maybe? Approaching the topic of having romance in their TTRPG because they may not feel like they're able to put that kind of trust in who they play with, or you know, they'll get mocked because, I mean, shoot, even if you mention that you like reading romantasy these days, depending on who you say that to, they might poo-poo on you, which I say poo-poo on them and get the fuck out of here. But you know, that might I have strong feelings about that. Ah, here we go. And I know a certain someone has already done an excellent discussion on romance and TTRPGs. You can check that out on YouTube through the link in chat later on. Just wanted to throw that out there. From the one and only London Station. There we go. Yeah, I wonder who that could be. It'd be really funny if she had dipped out. Stealthy sneaky. I don't know. What did I say? You'd have to rewind. I was getting into an internet argument. What happened? Oh, yeah. I don't know what did I do. Gee, I wonder what that YouTube link in chat goes to. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, if anybody's, you know, kind of eyed this and be like, oh man, Too bad my wargaming D&D buddies are never going to want to play this with me or something like that, you know. I am here to see if you can play it by yourself. And after looking through it yesterday, I feel like you can. I'm predicting that I'm just simply going to be doing a lot of writing. I feel like this is going to wind up turning into a journaling game, which, I mean, is fine by me. That's not for everybody, but... Alright, so I'm just gonna read this opening. Yeah, the romance link. I'll read this opening and then I'll tuck this away so that y'all can check out the book on your own. It's a pretty short book. It's only 22 pages. Okay, so it is a truth universally acknowledged that a single troublemaker in possession of an absurd problem with no reasonable or realistic solutions must be in want of a made-up wife. In Eyes on the Prize, you are troublemakers. Maybe you don't think you are. Maybe, to you, your most unfortunate and ludicrous circumstances are no fault of your own, and it is only an additional misfortune that you've been driven to such lengths. But the fact of the matter is that, when all is said and done, you need your situation upended so badly that you've ended up fake married about it. So it goes. Unfortunately for you, there's nothing more appealing to the rumor mongers and scandal hobbyists of court society than an unusual marriage. If the two of you want to have a chance to meet your goals, you'll have to play your parts, and you'll have to play them immaculately. Get your shit done. Don't get caught. And absolutely, positively, do not fall in love for real. That would be so fucking embarrassing. Alright. So that's it for you guys. Pull it up over my other window. Alright, so to play this game it says you need 2 to 4 players, but I'm here to test that. An 8-sided die per player, which tonight I'm going to be using the solo TTRPG rule kit in Obsidian. Standard deck of playing cards, jokers removed, which will again be done here in Obsidian. And this also has a setting to remove jokers, so I've already done that. And it says you need many tokens, but I've just simply have these as counters, which just reminded me these actually need to be starting at 0. And then a printed play sheet, which you can see I've already made it in Obsidian. OBS is tracking this, right? Okay, good. I have OBS covered up. Oops. There we go. There we go. Covered up by the rulebook. I can see chat though. Printed play sheet and printed marital trial cards, or a sheet of paper and something to write with. A stopwatch and timer, which I did not think about. Like I've seen Hime do timers with some kind of Twitch bot, but I don't know how to do that. I actually kind of missed. Oh, timers. What's this? I don't know. I don't know what this does. Well, You might just have to trust me on the timer thing. Oh, I feel sneeze coming on. Oh no. Is there a... Oh, okay. Alright. Hold up. Let me see. Does this make a sound? Looks like Google has a timer or something. Let me see if this makes a sound. Otherwise, I am never going to oh, never going to know it went off. Okay, let's see. Oh, I guess I added a whole minute to it. Let me make it shorter. Please hold. Do 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 do. Oh, it does. It's quite loud, I think. At least according to OBS, it looked kind of loud. Sorry about that. Okay, well, I have a timer. Alright, cool. And then it says 1 to 3 hours of time plus a little more for character creation. Alright, and then there is a safety section. Very nice. Gonna skip that. Let's see, so character creation. Your characters are people hacking their way through shitty opulent court life in whatever setting you like. If you don't want them to be members of shitty opulent court life, that's cool, tweak away. But keep in mind that the prompts and challenges in this game are written with a period, romance, and court intrigue setting in mind, so you may have to tweak many of the gameplay elements as well. There are many reasons they may be here, whether they were born into it, snuck their way in, arrived for diplomatic duties, etc. But now that they're here, they need to successfully navigate it to reach their goals. One way or another, their starting point towards these goals has been a marital union that is mutually beneficial, but foundationally insincere. Marriage is already frequently a business transaction here, but what your couple is trying to achieve is beyond the scope of what's typically considered fair game. If you're playing with 4 players, each player should create a character, give them an appearance, and decide how they're addressed, name pronouns, titles if they have any, describe their personalities to each other in a few words, and choose a reason why they're currently unhappy, dissatisfied, or yearning. Decide on a brief background and any other details you feel you need to flesh out, and then place them in the setting in the story. So it gives a couple of examples, and I think I'll read those just in case no one here has engaged in fake marriage trope media. A slick, lighthearted con artist who expects to be caught, but just wants to enjoy the high life until then, and thinks an aristocrat on their arm would be the perfect cover. An absent-minded scion who wishes her parents would just get off of her back about matchmaking, so she could focus on her secret love for illegal carriage races. A tense, bitter court biographer who is tired of being overlooked and wishes he could stir things up enough to make his next book a nationwide sensation. Okay, you can make notes of this information on the provided play sheet if desired. Keep these intimate details in mind as you roleplay what kinds of affection may grow between your characters. And as you can see, affection is a counter on the play sheet. Once you have your characters work together to build the partnership, what does your character bring strategically to the fake marriage? Why do they need the other person? What is your plot? What are you trying to achieve? How do each of your individual desires combine to make one cohesive plan? Or why do you both want the same thing? Why do you have to be fake married to pull this off? What is your place in society? What about your partner? Do you want to be able to continue holding that position after all of this? Or will this ruse be a turning point for you? What are you planning to do about the marriage once you've gotten what you need out of it? Does your partner know? Have you even talked about it? What are the stakes? What happens if you fail? What happens if you succeed? What happens if you fall in love? Make notes of the core points of the character's goals on your play sheet, such as being taken seriously enough to gain a seat on the advisory council, obtain an invite to the city's most exclusive winter gala, seek vengeance against our shared rival, scamming for scamming's sake. Keep these goals in mind as you roleplay the steps your characters take to advance their plot. Then build the falsehoods of the marriage. Have a good walk, London. Watch out for those tumbleweeds. For example, what you're going to be telling everyone. How did you meet? How or why did you fall in love? What are your shared plans for the future? Do not make notes on the character sheet of anything that is untrue. These details will have to be remembered to the best of your ability as you roleplay the ways your couple navigates the suspicion, which is another counter here on the sheet, that always threatens their plans. If something is forgotten or fumbled, you'll simply have to change or add on to the lies. Let's see. So basically how this game plays is typically, you watch out for wire rattlesnakes. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, please be careful. Please be careful. Yeah, so how this game plays is that you're supposed to be, since you're supposed to be playing it with another person, you take turns drawing a card from the card deck, and these correspond with a prompt. The face cards, which are the king, queen, and jack, would prompt you to pull a marital trial, which is a special challenge with greater risks and rewards. So if I would draw one of those, what I can do is roll a d12, basically. It says that you either print them out or you just write down the numbers 1 through 12 on scraps of paper and draw those. But I mean, there's 12. That's a d12. Read aloud and roleplay the prompts attached to the cards, and if called for, you will gain and or lose tokens in one of the 3 categories. So here you can see affection, plot, and suspicion. Affection is the measure of how attracted to your partner you actually are, how distracting the relationship itself has become, and the subsequent disintegration of boundaries. You know, I wonder if this was actually meant to be. I thought you share a play sheet, but maybe I misinterpreted the design of it. But I mean, that is a non-issue because I could just easily rearrange these. I made this on lunch today, really quickly. Yeah. Let's see, can I? Okay, so I cannot make. I don't like seeing the scroll boxes. But what I can do. Maybe it's supposed to be like that. Alright, so plot is your success at furthering your secret plans together, your focus on your shared goals, and the resources and opportunities you've managed to gather. Suspicion is the degree to which others in your orbit see through the veneer of the marriage, the amount of scrutiny and skepticism you've attracted, and the rising probability that your true goals will be discovered. In the event that a token change would put one of your categories in the negatives, these tokens are actually converted as outlined below. So if you hit... Okay. If you're at 0 and you would hit like -1 affection, instead it becomes plus suspicion. Let me make note of that so that I don't have to look for this later. I was about to say, that looked misspelled. Alright, negative suspicion becomes plus plot. And then negative plot turns into plus affection. Okay, cool. Because then I can actually shove that down here. To reference that. Okay. And then it says negative affection becomes plus suspicion. You're doing so poorly at projecting a view of merry bliss that is raising serious questions. Besides, unhappy couples make for fantastic gossip. Negative suspicion becomes plus plot. Your ruse is going swimmingly. The time and energy that would have been consumed juggling nosy questions about your marriage or arduous displays of affection can instead be spent on your shared machinations. Negative plot becomes plus affection. The longer it takes to move things forward, the more time you're spending with each other. If you're not careful, all this waffling around might turn into distraction of a more amorous kind. Alright, finally, there is one very important rule about token changes. If your partner's player's response to a prompt or challenge makes you fall more in love with their character, add +1 affection, no matter what the prompt says. You'll still take any plot suspicion changes prompted by the plot, but allow this rule to cancel out or offset any affection losses. So, this is sort of like, the way I'm interpreting this is that this is kind of like, it's kind of like a soft rule, I think, or it's up to your own discretion. Like, it really is based on your own feelings towards the other character, I think, is how I'm interpreting, where if they do something and it makes you squeal and flail in your seat, you're probably meant to add another affection point there, is what I am guessing. That is how I'm interpreting it, at least. That part, I think, might be a little difficult to do, or like, I guess do is the right verb, because I'm playing solo. you know, it would be very easy for me to fall in love with my own character, or like be like wrapped up in, or like wanting to see my two characters hook up. I guess I am kind of already biased towards hoping that they'll hook up because that's like that's the good part. The good part of the trope is when they trip up. Oh no. And now they're in love for realsies. And then usually whether or not they obtain their goals kind of depends on the story, really. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes there's like a big twist that makes the original goals kind of moot. And like everything changes. Nothing, you know, is the same. You know, at least now they're not alone in it or something like that. Ooh. You mean? Yeah. It's a very long title. I'm still not entirely sure. I thought... Anyway, so when you gain or lose tokens, consider what that means for the scene. When you gain plot, how have the events of that turn's prompt brought you closer to your goals? If you lose plot, how have you been set back? When you gain or lose suspicion, what did the result of the prompt reveal or obscure about the true nature of your partnership? When you gain or lose affection, how has the tone of your relationship changed? Move on to a new setting and event whenever it feels right. Feel free to describe the downtime between events. Do they secretly retreat to different estates? Are they struggling to adjust to sharing a home? Is there only one bed? That's funny. I hadn't really read this section, so that's funny. When you hit tokens, 10 tokens in either one of the 3 categories, that triggers a boiling point. A challenge that will either end the game or allow your couple to keep their eyes on the prize and continue playing. Whatever's been brewing, whether it's your own plans, the rumors and speculation of high society, or your feelings for each other, is coming to a head, and it needs to be addressed now, for better or worse. Refer to the boiling point challenges in the play materials section. And then for ending the game, eventually one of your boiling point challenges will result in the story coming to a close. Take your time with it. Remember that the point is not win or lose, but to tell a story. So tell the story in the way that's most satisfying for all players. Okay. And then it proceeds to the prompts and challenges. Alright, so first we need to make the characters. And alright, so I was originally thinking about doing this in my own setting for the setting that my novel draft is in. The novel that I've mentioned a few times that it has been in draft for the last couple of years because of the depresso espresso, and then now I'm just simply fixated on TTRPGs. Anyway, it's a fantasy setting, kind of your generic, vaguely European-ish kind of thing. There's no elves in it, but there's rabbit people. Except they're not really rabbits, they're hares. But that's the common the common insult. It's like, you're just a rabbit. And I'm like, I'm not a rabbit. This is not aligned. No. No, it's not even. I must have symmetry. Oh, Obsidian, why do you do this to me? Thank you. Okay, there we go. I'm at peace now. Oh, just kidding. No, I'm not. There we go. Alright, now I'm at peace. Okay. So I was thinking about doing that, but the novel takes place in a city, and well, actually it doesn't even really take place in the city. It starts out in the city, but the rest of the book takes place in the wilderness outside of the city. So I actually don't even really know what kind of nobility is in the city. I don't even know who runs the city. There's a college. There's a college of magic in the city. But that's oh, and an adventurers guild. But that's about all I really know about the city. Um, and the whole part of the whole reason that I've been really kind of itching recently to play this game is because I've been working on playing Ballads of Dawn, which is a TTRPG by Hime Utsuki. And that setting is kind of what this game is designed for, where there's nobles, there's court, there's some royalty, kind of that kind of Regency vibe or Victorian vibe, whichever vibe. Ladies in big gowns, you know, people gossiping and whispering behind the curtain about so and so's daughter is in an arranged marriage with the Duke, but she's shagging a maid or something. I don't know. So I think I'm just gonna do it in the ballads kind of setting, but I'm not sure. Like, I probably won't be utilizing too much of like the existing lore or anything, or the game itself. You made the things I want back into. This could be that. This could be that kind of story. I could have some noble and then a servant faking a marriage. That'd be very interesting. But I have plenty of royal people that I could work with for this. So here's my family tree of my royal family from Ballads of Dawn that I decided to create. Like, this is not a part of the game or anything. I just got really inspired by some comment or another. Something about, like, I think there was, like, a statement in the book that says something about a royal family, and I was like, yo, what if I made a royal family? And then I made a mistake. So I was creating the royal family using some randomizing strategies. I got like the previous monarch and a consort who are out of the picture now, but like I created the monarch. That's this guy over here, and then I gave him, like, I rolled that he has 3 siblings. I'm like, all right, cool. So now I'm like, okay, so I need to determine, you know, what kind of branches each sibling has. Well, on the first one, I failed to limit myself on the number of spouses or partners one of them had. And, yeah, here she is. The infamous Archduchess Aline with her 10 spouses, because I had made them all like actually married partners, and they did not happen like concurrently. I actually asked like an oracle, and we're like, hey, can you have multiple spouses, like legally, like legal marriage, multiple spouses? And it said no. So I was like, oh, bummer. But like, that's probably something that's being worked on, because I did give somebody multiple partners. But anyway, so yeah, and I'm like, well, I need to figure out how many kids came out of all of these spouses, and also rolled a high number. And at the time I was like, oh, okay, that's a lot, but that might be fun. And then like all of this later, it was like, oh no, I have made a mistake. I limited it to the other, for the other siblings. I put in some limiters, so that's why this side looks a little bit more normal. But anyway, as you can see, I've got plenty of potential characters that I could utilize for this, or at least plenty for a person. I will say though that I don't think I would want to pick like a character that I know has had a spouse or something, because that would kind of spoil the fun. Like, as much as I'm biased towards wanting these two characters to accidentally fall in love and make the marriage legitimate, like legit romantic, I do want to leave that possibility out there that perhaps they don't. Because that is kind of the point of playing the game, is that the point is that you're trying to get away with it. And getting away with it means, you get into the fake marriage, you accomplish what you want, and then you potentially get out of the fake marriage. So let's see. I think what I'll do is I will find somebody who is alive, for one thing, and is not yet attached to somebody. Let's see. I got these 3 kids here, but I don't know if I got ages for them. Let's see. The Victoria branch. Alright. Okay, so they are 30 years old and they have 3 kids, so those 3 kids are probably not really old enough for this game's event. Okay, so maybe a different branch. This person's alive. They might be pretty young though, because this is the most recent. This person is alive. Because I had, for some of these, I went ahead and I decided who was alive and who was not. Because the monarch and the siblings of the monarch are pretty old. They're like in their 70s and 80s. So I was like, you know what? It'd probably be a possibility that some of these people are not alive. Let's see. Dealine branch. This monster of a file. So glad that I already named some of these people. Tabitha. Oh, where was Tabitha? That spouse 8. Need a whole directory. Okay, so I decided that she She at one point had 3 partners. 36. So she would be old enough for these kind of shenanigans. Maybe a little older than being like young and dumb. But the fact that she has had some partners at some point. This was before I I first would flip if they had partners, and then I would flip to see if any kids came out of those partnerships. Alright, so I got, yeah, I think I'll do this. Okay, so let me throw this over here real quick. Okay, so I already know that she uses she, her. We'll just say that she took the Chara's name, since that's the royal family. Oh, I was like, what? Oh. So 36. Let's see. She is a daughter of an archduchess. I don't know who the designated heir is of this family, because Aline is still alive and kicking and handling a lot of her business. She's quite lively. She's pretty up there in age, but she's still pretty lively, so she's handling much of her own business still. Yeah, I don't have a designated heir though, so somebody is surely going to be inheriting the title. Probably not her though. So I don't really know like what her title is. I'm not that familiar with a lot of the different nuances of nobility titles. I've been thinking that maybe I should read up on them because of Ballads of Dawn. Let's see, so title of family, so okay, and then her ancestry, because we were using Ballads of Dawn, she is half human, half badger folk. Go ahead and add that to dictionary. Alright, so physical appearance. So she's half human, half badger. Let's see. Where is my character design deck? Which comes in so much play when I am playing TTRPGs. It has been very handy. Okay, so oh, thanks, London. Yeah, so that's my character design deck. Definitely check it out on itch. If you are waiting for a community copy, I am going to be adding some for my birthday, so you know, add it to your collection, your wishlist collections or anything, and that way if you're unable to purchase it, you can grab a community copy when I release some for my birthday. Let's see. What was I gonna do? Dice roller. Okay. Let's see. So, how does she present herself? Because she is female, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she does the big gowns and stuff. She is very feminine. So she probably keeps up on like fashion trends, I bet, for the ladies, and keeps up on the gowns. Okay. She's half badger, half human. Let's roll for body height. 2, so she's a little on the short side. And 6, so she has a high body mass. So yeah, she's got some large curves, kind of petite. The ample chest. Okay. I think she'll be like kind of like a white and black kind of badger. Totally not because I live in Wisconsin. Totally not related at all. That's totally not picking those colors just because those are the colors of badgers that I see on a regular basis. Oh, 1 second. I got my drink on my glasses. The bottle kind of wrinkled a little, and it got soda on my face. I know how to drink. Okay. So hair length, hairstyle. Yeah, let's see what kind of hair length we're working with here. 6 to the hips or longer. So she's got very long hair. I'm gonna go ahead and say that since she's fashionable, the hair also comes into play a lot with various different hairstyles. Many of them pretty elaborate. Alright, so for physical appearance, she's very fashionable and up to date on all the current trends, wears beautiful dresses and gowns for all occasions. On the short side with large curves and ample chest. Has long hair past her waist and often wears it in elaborate hairstyles with accessories. Her hair, ears, tail, and fur patches are black and white. I just kind of left it vague at fur patches because I don't really know if she even has fur or not. But probably not going to draw her at this time anyway, so that's fine. We're just gonna leave it up in the air. To your imagination even. Alright, and then let us figure out what her personality is. I'm just gonna go off of my current expression table from my deck because that actually works out pretty well for a general demeanor type of table. D8. Calm and reflective. That is very interesting. What would drive a calm and reflective person to get into a fake marriage? We could go with the sort of traditional path of the pressure, this pressure of her family and society, you know? Being like, hey, you're 36. You've had some partners. When are you gonna settle down? Follow in the footsteps of, wait, is Aline her mother or grandmother? Mother. Follow in the footsteps of your mother and have a wild, spicy life. Or we could do something else. Let's see. Generally seen as calm and reflective. Maybe she actually has a double life. Maybe she is not actually calm and reflective. But let me go down here on my PDF to Love and Fear. So I'll roll a d12 twice and see what we got. So she loves music and is afraid of people. Okay, alright. Loves music. People. And then for goal and ambition, which is probably what would be related to the reason for getting into a fake marriage. We'll see if anything off of this table kind of works for this purpose. 14. Conundrum, I am tired, but I have so many things I want to do. Ah, yeah, I feel that. That was me yesterday. Make sure you get rest, though. 14. Bring honor to family. I am thinking. Bring honor to family. I might come back to this. I like might have something, but I think I'll create the other character and see where that takes me. Alright, so character B obviously cannot be from the family tree because that would be weird, awkward, and there ain't nearly enough branches to make that socially acceptable. So this person would be completely fresh. Let's see. I do have where to go. This list here so that I can roll to see what ancestry they are. So we will. Well, first, let's see what kind of gender they are. What flavor of the alphabet mafia are you? Got a 5. So, fairly masculine. Okay. Not very masculine, but masculine enough. Does that mean that they are male? Because they could just simply dress masculine. I'll roll again and I'll let this one decide what their actual... Oh! Well, how about that? We'll make them non-binary, but they're like... They present themselves masculine. There is a fly. A little fly in my room. It just flew into my face. Okay, they're gonna be a they, them. But they'll look masculine. Okay, so Tabitha is 36. Oh. Oh. Who is this and why do they keep calling me? I think my voicemail inbox got full. So I emptied it and now I'll see if they'll leave a message. Because I don't return phone calls unless they leave a message. Because if they don't leave a message, then they're fake. They're scammers. Also, this one comes up with a certain name that looks incredibly suspicious. I do have all the Twitch notifications. No, it is probably scam. I've been getting some random text messages too, like, hey, about your mortgage. And I'm like, bro, I live in an apartment. I know you're fake. Always delete and block those. Don't even bother responding to them. Because nowadays, scammers and stuff might even be trying to train AI stuff off of your responses. about your mortgage, bitch, I wish. Yeah, I've gotten another regular one I get is or I got, it's not regular anymore, but for a while I was getting several like messages asking if I wanted to sell my house. And I'm like, I don't own that house. My brother owns that house. You were close, but you do not have the correct sibling. I don't live there. Personally, I think he should sell the house, but that's not here or there. Okay, so age, Tabitha is 36. I think I will roll a dice. I'll roll a d20 to see how old this person is. Or maybe, well, let's see, how spicy do I want to get in here tonight? Do I want an age gap? She's 36, so... Well, actually no, because 36 minus 20 would be 16. That's too much. Alright, we'll do it. We'll do 12. Because I want to make it so that I could go either older or younger, but that's too young. Age gap, you say. Yeah, because at first I was like, oh yeah, 20 over, that would be 56. That would be interesting, but the reverse direction would not work. All right, so I'll roll a d12 and then I'll flip a coin. 14. Oh, that might still be. Actually, that might not work. Hold on. Where's my calculator? Oh, okay. All right, so where's my coin? Tara Polycool and New Dawn is like 34, 33, and 24. Cute! Alright, so I'm gonna flip my coin. Heads, it's going to be older. Tails, it'll be younger. A dice set that I got came with a coin. And I actually have been getting a lot of use out of it. I'm actually pretty glad that that it came with one. Also, I did get tails, so this person's gonna be 22. So I think that is definitely going to add some drama. Getting fake married to an older woman. Alright, so title and family. I think for this one, let's see, do I still have Ballads of Dawn open? I do! I'm going to just very quickly roll it to see if this person is a commoner or nobility or something. Let's see. Creating your character. Do. Let's see, hold on. I'm talking enough about this that I should really link the game. Because you can get early access to it. And then all updates succeeding that. So there you go, that's Ballads of Dawn. It really should say Ballads of Dawn in the URL. It kind of bothers me that it does not say that. The SEO is not SEOing. Alright. Where did I put it? There it is. Okay. Okay, so there's a table in there that lets you roll for what kind of standing or rank your character's family has in society. Obviously, if I get royalty, I will just re-roll because that would be not good. Oh, I was trying to reach for my dice. I'm not using my dice tonight. I'm using the dice roller. D12. Woohoo! This is a commoner. This character is a commoner. Oh boy. So not only are they younger, but they are also a commoner. Oh boy, oh boy. We have some conflict of not interest, probably, but conflict of society's expectations, I guess. Some breaking of the expectations. Alright, so ancestry, I do have a table of that, so it's just doink. D6. Got 2. This is an elf. Okay. Clear that. Back to my character deck. Alright, so we already know that they're non-binary and they present masculine. Let's see. What is their body type? They are extremely tall. They are much taller than average. And slender. So, your typical elf. But hey, so now we got a bit of age difference and we have height difference. We are setting up for a lot of fun, I think. Very tall. Okay. Let's get some hair details. We got 2, so it's very short to their ears. Then do they wear it in a particular way? Or, well, you can't really do a fancy updo with that, and they're a commoner. Well, a faux hawk. Interesting. Oh, I should also see what job they have as a commoner, because that would also kind of probably dictate what sort of hair they have. And then this is also a table in the ballads book. This is a D10. They are a cook or a baker. Okay. Well, maybe I think a cook. And you know what? I think specifically a cook in the Archduchess's estate where Tabitha resides. Because Tabitha is not married yet. So she probably resides in one of the family estates. And where that is, I don't know. Maybe it's in the capital city? I don't know. It's in some place where court stuff can happen. Court intrigue kind of stuff. Alright, so they are a cook in the... Okay. Okay, so that actually kind of works out with having short hair then. So you wouldn't want to have long hair in the kitchen. I mean, you shouldn't. Probably didn't, you know. Or like, not that you shouldn't have long hair, but you know, you should keep it up and kind of like covered. Let's see, what color is the hair? 8. 8's a roll again. 1. Gray? Ah, that's too close to Tabitha's hair. 4? Yellow? So blonde, I guess? Let's see, what color eyes do they have? Orange eyes. Yeah, I'm not feeling that. Oh, orange again. Green, there we go. Sure. Blonde with green eyes. Dresses in masculine. Well, not even really fashion, it's just attire. Alright, so personality, let's figure that out. Roll a d8. Happy, content, satisfied. See, that is kind of interesting because if they're happy or content, what would drive them to getting into a fake marriage? Did something happen? So maybe something changed and it forces them into this fake marriage. Let's see, should I say that they're happy-go-lucky or maybe just in general kind of cheerful? Yeah. Sorry, if I had a little bit more time, perhaps I could have gotten a browser source to show the character deck on the stream. But hey, you could always, you know, check it out, buy it. It's only $5. I may actually raise the price when I get the fancy version up. I haven't decided yet. But if it does go up, there's your forewarning. Because there is going to be a pretty version. Right now it's just black and white. Looks pretty plain. But I'm going to make a pretty version and the cards are going to be tarot sized, because right now D20 tables are split across 2 cards, and I want to make a pretty version where the cards are a bit bigger, and then that way the D20 fits on 1 card. And I really need to get on that. Okay, so ambitions and goals. No, love and fear first. They love food. Well, I sure hope so. They're a cook. But maybe that just means that they're actually quite passionate about it. So they became a cook not because they just simply needed, you know, to make a living, but they actually like really enjoy cooking. Hates and fears. We got a 6. Losing control. So they are afraid of losing control, or they hate not being in control. Interesting. Losing control of what? Like, do they like being in control and hate, like, or like they hate feeling, or they hate the feeling of their life being out of control, where things happen that, you know, they can't do anything about. And so perhaps maybe something happened in the past, and they never want to experience that again. Ooh, okay, so that they never want to feel that way again. That could be our driving force as to why they would get into a fake marriage. And then goal and ambition. Got an 8. Conquer or rule a location. Okay. So, technically speaking, I do have start a business on here. Or actually, no. Rather than start a business, what if they don't want to start their own restaurant or anything, but they want to become head of a kitchen in an estate such as this one? So they're working their way up on, or they want to work their way up on becoming a, like, head of kitchen. I don't know what you would really call that. Like head chef, maybe? Like, I don't know what you would say in like period setting words. Head chef is the term, yeah. Yeah, for setting, yeah, I don't know. History is not my forte. I've actually been thinking, like, even before playing ballads, I was like, you know, I should read some, like, historical period romance or something, or some political, like, political fiction or something. Taking a drink. Okay, let's see. I'm going to put... Oh, this character needs a name, too. Oh, cool. I still have the fantasy name generators website up. Because that's what I've been doing for this extremely wild family tree. Just been opening up various different European name generators. Let's see, something kind of neutral. Winifred. That one's a good one, but that is also too close to relative names that I don't want to think about. There we go. Flory. Flory is kind of neutral sounding. And we'll just use the name as is. Oops. It's supposed to be a L. So Flory. The titles are a little hard to read. Okay. Go ahead. It'll look a little funny because it's doubled, but I want to make sure that it's legible. And then that with the shards. Okay, so now I got the characters up here. Okay, so we said that Tabitha is generally seen as calm and reflective, loves music, is afraid of people. Her goal is to bring honor to the family. Okay. So why would these two get into a fake marriage? And they are connected because Flory works in the same estate that Tabitha lives in. So it wouldn't be that hard for them to meet. Generally seem as calm and reflective. If she's afraid of people, perhaps she's also introverted. So I'm thinking that for Flory, they have been cheerful and content with their current position. In life. But perhaps something abrupt just happened, which jeopardizes that. And it would basically put them back to where they felt before, where they didn't have any control over what was happening, and that made them feel helpless. And the solution to avoiding that would be marriage. Now, Tabitha, being the member of an Archduke's family, that means she's got money. She's well off, does not really have to worry right now. So that could provide something of value to Flory, because perhaps the problem is, or could be solved with money. So perhaps, you know, a debt collector comes. Maybe. Yeah. They're only 22. So perhaps they have a parent who got themselves in like major debt or something, and bad stuff happened, that kind of thing. And because Flory was just a child, it it made them feel helpless because, you know, they're just a kid. They didn't have a job, didn't have any money, and they, you know, they kind of just watched their parent or parents fall apart. And it seemed that they were, you know, were working their way out, you know, past that. They've been healing. They're on their own 2 feet. They're independent, and they're going to make sure they never feel that way again. They're going to rise up in the kitchens, and you know, even if this job here doesn't last long, you know, they could potentially go to a different noble's estate. You know, it's not so much that they want to be ahead of this specific kitchen, but they want to be head of a high status kitchen. Let's see. And then Tabitha, introverted, calm. What would force her, or what would, well, yeah, it would pretty much be kind of like a forcing of her hand if she does not like people. And let's see, I had said before that she had had 3 different partners up until this point. If she's not with any of them right now, that means it's possible they might not have went well. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, and I'm gonna think about this. So I'll be right back. See you soon. All right. Thank y'all for waiting. Let's see, where's my B thing? There it is. Okay. Whew. Hope everybody's doing all right. I know I'm spending a lot of time crafting my characters, but I'm playing alone. Thanks for waiting. Yeah, see? That's because I knew you were sitting in chat. I had to be good, or London was going to scold me. I don't want to be scolded by the Queen of Space. Okay. Just gonna put some lotion on my hands. Yeah, I kind of figured I was gonna wind up doing this, because I was like, I gotta create 2 characters. They don't give you, you know, because like this is like a social kind of TTRPG, so there's no classes or anything. You're basically entirely on your own for creating a character. So I was like, oh boy, I'm gonna have to try not to spend the entire stream creating them. But I'm doing okay because we're an hour and 40 minutes into the stream. And I at least have basic profiles. So I'm not doing too bad. Right now I just need to determine the reason why Tabitha would get into a fake marriage, especially with a commoner. Pardon the bottle popping noises if the mic picked that up. Okay, so now that I said that they're having a fake marriage with a commoner, perhaps the marriage had to happen very quickly. Which, if Flory is in a very hot critical crisis, then that would explain why a fake marriage would happen extremely quickly. And perhaps the way Tabitha would get permission, or at least kind of like the family blessing, of having this marriage happen. Let's see. I had it, and then I started thinking about another word, and then I lost it. Oh, there we go. So they had to get this fake marriage going very quickly, on short notice, and this is with a commoner, so I'm thinking that perhaps their excuse for as to why they so badly want this marriage to happen is because they are extremely in love with each other. And that is the reason why Tabitha's mother, the Archduchess, would agree to it, because the Archduchess has had 10 spouses herself. She is a woman that loves, and loves often. It's a variety of different reasons, I think, for as to why, you know, the spouses came and went. But, and she's calmed down in her old age. Maybe. Who knows? I'm not gonna judge her. But, that would probably be the key to swaying her into allowing Tabitha to marry a commoner. Is if Tabitha was head over heels, absolutely in love. I cannot live without this person. This is the person I've been waiting for. And, you know, maybe her mother has a little bit of a soft spot for Tabitha, perhaps. Yeah, perhaps those three partners before, maybe they didn't go well. Maybe each one of those did end poorly. turning Tabitha off from people in general, and that would be like this sudden change, or this, this supposed reveal that she is madly in love with, this commoner who, at least has a job, and is a job in the estate, and has been, doing well enough in the kitchen, is probably, liked by other kitchen workers. The head cook or chef of the kitchen probably also likes them. They've caused no problems. They do good work, hard work, So even though they're a commoner, it's not like they're a random person off the street. There's more people that could speak for and back up Flory. So Aline would probably be like, well, at least, it's not some riffraff off of the street with basically no resume, no connections, no proof of character. Okay, let me adjust this personality description. All right, introverted generally has a calm and reflective demeanor, but has become withdrawn over the last few years. She's had 3 significant partners in her youth, but each relationship ended painfully until she gave up love altogether. Let's see, and her goal and ambition is to bring honor to the family. She also loves music. So perhaps I could tie her goal and ambition to her love of music. I did say, I know I was done with this, but now I trying to pull in other things. So there's another Archduchess, Vittoria Charas, and I believe, oh, this is the wrong file. Let's scroll down. This is where I was like, oh dear, I've gave this one lady too many spouses and children. Oh dear. By the way, she didn't birth all of them. Some of the children were birthed by her partners, her spouses. Okay, so for Victoria, let's see. I said that her industry focus for governance is arts and entertainment, the theater district, and artisans. So that's a different branch, but that doesn't mean, like, a different branch of the family, but that doesn't mean that Tabitha couldn't collaborate with, this side of the family. I do have a card in my deck too for career industries. So I could also, like, alternatively, I could just roll on that too and see if Tabitha is currently involved in some sort of uh, career, I guess. Let me see. So I got 11. Government. Okay. I mean, it is possible she is part of the royal family. In a way. The monarch does not really have children. They have one child out of wedlock. The person he had the girl with, is a secret. No one knows who it is. They actually have 2 kids together, but the other kid is also secret and kept hidden. But the little girl now lives in the palace. Or not the palace. Actually, I think she lives with Gale, an archduke. Anyway, let's see. So I could do government. Maybe she has a government position. She could do something clerical, which would kind of keep her out of doing a lot of contact with people. And then perhaps music is, maybe music is her weakness. Oh, let's see. I'm just thinking. And this also does not really help. Because, like, okay, so yeah, Flory would obviously benefit from getting into a fake marriage with someone as wealthy as Tabitha. But what does Tabitha get out of it? Because I could say that Tabitha would be aware that Flory just kind of wants a marriage of convenience and wants the money. And Tabitha, would be able to get eyes off of her back or whatever by finally, like getting married. And then, would be, they would not have to actually be a couple, so she would be left alone and stuff. But I don't know if that's like a strong enough reason for her, especially if she's had bad relationships up until now. I'm also thinking too that maybe her love of music is her weakness. maybe maybe she's made the mistake of falling for musicians. Some bards. Or a little low on the commitment side of things. Oh, let's see. And it would have to be kind of like a quick thing too. Like the period of time from finding out about each other's mutual problems to making the decision to get married, to solve those problems despite needing it to be a fake marriage, like having to pretend it's a real one, and then to actually getting married would have to happen in pretty short order, like a pretty short time frame. So something needs to happen to Tabitha that would expedite her reason to get married. And if anybody has an idea, feel free to type it out into chat. I'd be interested in hearing about it. I'm currently casting my mind across various different romances I've read to see if something would be usable. What's the question we're trying to solve? I am trying to think of what could drive Tabitha, who is an introvert that has become more withdrawn over the last few years because of 3 painful relationships that sucked. What would drive her to very quickly get married to a commoner? Because I have a good reason as to why Flory would want to get married quickly to a noble. But what would push Tabitha into agreeing to this? Like, what does she get out of it? Maybe one of her exes comes back. Some other marriage being lined up that she wants to forestall? Yeah, possibly. Oh. Wait. Hold up. How about both ideas? Alright, so one of her exes comes back into the picture. And there's an actual threat of a marriage happening to them. Maybe an arranged marriage starts getting talked about. And maybe this relationship, because maybe it is known that one or two of the relationships she's had were terrible, but maybe this one wasn't so widely known as to why it was terrible for her. Maybe it's not that well known that this person was a piece of shit for some reason. Maybe people wouldn't believe her. Maybe this person is very good at faking being a decent person. Maybe there's connections that would be jeopardized or something like that. Oh, or maybe they have ties to, or like maybe this person's family has ties to something that her mother, Aline, does business with or something. And if they ruin that relationship between the families, it would be bad. Or like, it would probably be fine because, again, Aline is the Archduchess and sibling to the monarch. So, like, it probably wouldn't be, like, it probably wouldn't lead to destruction of the family as a whole, but it could really jeopardize, like, really important key business relationships and disrupt, like, part of the economy or something. Something kind of major. And so maybe this person comes back into the picture and the two families are starting to be like, you know, you two were kind of a thing once. Why don't we get you married and establish a strong familial alliance or something? And it's like, oh no, I need to do something quick. I cannot bear to be with that person again. I can't do that to myself. And then in comes Flory, who is likely in some kind of financial problem that risks destroying like what they've built up. And out of the fear of experiencing that again, they get married to someone with money, who would be Tabitha. And so after that, it's now just a matter of like, okay, so how do these two meet? Oh, sorry, I can't. I fell in love with that commoner over there. Yeah, see? It's a commoner, but earlier I was thinking that I think that the only reason that her mother would bless such a quick marriage to a commoner is if they were like madly in love with each other. Like true, like you would look at them and they would be the picture of soulmates, basically. Because that would be her mother's weakness. Because her mother is a lover. That woman has had 10 spouses. And I don't even want to think about how many, like, romantic relationships she's had. Or even just physical relations. So, she would probably, she probably couldn't resist if her daughter came up and begged and pleaded for her blessing to marry a commoner because she, can't live without them. Especially if she starts pretending to like come out of her recent shell and like going out and, making more public appearances and that kind of thing as further proof. So that would be part of the ruse. But anything if it gets her out of that arranged marriage. Okay. And then, yeah. And then Flory would be fine if they weren't actually together because Flory is career minded. Okay. Yeah, and I am going to have Tabitha working a clerical position in the government offices. At least for the time being, because she doesn't have her own estate to manage just yet. And somebody else is probably doing a lot of the estate management. Because she has a bunch of other siblings. Okay, so now I think we can say for the plot. Let me put this over here. Yeah, only took me 2 hours to get here. I can't feel too bad though. I think, like, I don't even know. Has Kai even made it to playing their solo break game? I know they were working on, like, world building or making character stuff for it, but I'm not sure if they've actually started playing it. They're gonna try to solo break. Any award-winning break. Also, London, thank you very much for the spark to connect these ideas together. We'll say him. It was a dude. Okay. Sorry, the click-clack doesn't, click-clack plugin does not work during, canvas typing. This is what this is. This is a canvas. Okay, we'll just drag all these down to the bottom. Alright, so, oh, why does that look like that? Okay, guess I'll make it a little longer. Oh, oh, why are you like that? Oh, is it? Oh, boo. Alright, that's okay. I can fix this. Easy peasy. I just won't have the line there. What if I do it? Oh, there we go. That looks good. Alright. The plot. Tabitha's biggest fear is about to come true. Her first ex-lover, the worst she's ever had that hurt her the most, is back at the capital, and now she's at risk of being in an arranged marriage to him. When she learns of Florrie's crisis in a chance conversation, she acts quickly to save herself. Florrie swore they'd never watch their family crumble again like it did when debt collectors nearly killed their parents. They've worked hard to earn their place in the Archduchess's kitchen, and are on their way to securing a stable career and income for life. But when debtors come knocking again, Florrie panics. Afraid of losing everything, they express their plight to Tabitha. A plea for a blessing results in a quick marriage, and now the two must fake their love for each other until it's socially acceptable to divorce. Their problems may be solved for now, but can they make it to divorce? Or will they actually fall for each other for real? Going out to get chicken feed, a little Andrew presenting. Well, nah, I look pretty femme, just not super femme. Do you have... because I thought your neighbors were pretty far out. Are you like by a road? Or people? Either way, you know, stay safe. Be comfortable with yourself. And, yeah, say hi to the chickens. Finish my soda. Alright. Well, I dropped a few frames. I wonder what that is. But it's 8:30 and the internet's been holding up, so guys, I don't know. The internet provider might have fixed it. They might have finally gotten off their ass and fixed the internet. We'll see. I don't trust them well enough. If it starts acting up again, I will call them. Oh, I just hope the feed store is in the bastion of conservatism that I fear it is. Oh, okay. Oh, going out to get chicken feed as in going out to go buy some. My bad. My little brain cell thought you were just going outside to go feed them. Not that you actually had to go get the, go buy the chicken feed. My bad. Yeah, I hope it goes well. And that everything is safe. Big thoughts. Let's see. Okay, so I have the characters. I have the plot. I see the confusion now. Yeah. Especially since I just spent like a good hour like casting my mind for like options upon options and branches upon branches of thought, and then like you told me one thing and then my brain thought of like completely opposite, completely wrong thing. It's all good though. Yeah, I just want you to be safe and you know, be able to get there and back without any problems. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So I made the characters, now what do I do? What? Play the game? Alright. Okay, so it did say that we're supposed to build the falsehoods of marriage. So you're supposed to work out with the other player, lies, like, how did you meet? How did you fall in love? What are your plans for the future? But for this stuff, you're not supposed to write it down. It's on you to try to remember. They like it when you show up and do a commerce. Yeah, they like the monies. I just hope they like the monies enough to take your monies and let you be on your way without issue. Let's see. So, falsehoods of the marriage. So we already said that in order to obtain Elaine's blessing for the marriage, they are madly in love. They cannot live without each other, so they are going to have to act lovey-dovey when they are out in public, which is probably going to be harder for Tabitha. Well, it's going to be hard for both of them, because it'll be hard for Tabitha because Tabitha has no longer really believes in love. Plus they're cute girl monies. Like, come on. Yeah. They should be honored that the Queen of Space is coming to buy chicken feed from them for her chicken hoard. Because now that I know how many you have, that's a hoard. That you would have a swarm of chickens stampeding down the road. Oh, yeah, sorry, I don't have a lurk command. I have a lurk redeem, but I need to set up a proper lurk. Killer let me know that this setup is not like a good lurk or something like that. I need to do some investigating on that. But we gotta redeem at least. Cause yeah, the Cheeky and I are both lurker friendly. Totally do not mind lurkers. Okay, so that would be the biggest falsehood, is that they have to act lovey-dovey, otherwise Elaine is going to be furious. And if Elaine is furious, bad things could happen. Because, I mean, for one thing, Flory is a commoner. Flory could be even accused of tricking Tabitha, no matter what Tabitha says, and get thrown in jail for crimes against the royal family or something like that. So yeah, the biggest falsehood will be having to act lovey-dovey. Oh, and this will be hard for Flory too, because Flory has to rely or like trust in Tabitha continuing the charade of being lovey-dovey. But that's not within their control. They've agreed to act lovey-dovey together, but that, you know, doesn't mean Tabitha may do it well. Because if Tabitha slips up, Flory has no control over that. And so that would probably also stress them out. So let's see. What are they saying for how did they meet? Well, Flory works in the kitchen, so it's probably that way. But maybe that's not good enough. Because, You know, that's kind of weak sauce. Well, duh, they might have met because they, you know, live and work in the same place, but that's not that's not enough. But Tabitha loves music, so perhaps she went. Oh, actually, hold on. Okay. They claim that they met because Tabitha heard Flory either singing or playing an instrument, but and instantly had to see who it was. And that's how they started talking and that's how she fell in love with Flory. But what if Flory cannot sing? Nor can they play an instrument. So that would I feel like that would make for some drama. Okay, and then oh, how and why did you fall in love? Let's see. Let's put this one on Flory. So if Tabitha fell for Flory's singing voice, um, what would be the lie Flory would tell for falling in love with Tabitha? Hmm. You know, I did say Tabitha is very fashionable and up to date on all the current trends, and that she's introverted. I mean, not to say that introverts can't be fashionable, but I feel like that would make her withdrawing from society more noticeable. So that could be another reason why Aline would be kind of thrilled to know that Tabitha has finally found true love, because she starts coming out and doing things in public again. So even though it's a commoner, Aline is just happy for her daughter to find love. Ignore the fact that this lady has been divorced several times. I mean, some of the spouses might have died too while they were married, because Aline is like 79 or something like that. Okay. So yeah, Flory though, why, or like, what is the lie of Flory claiming for love? Well, they work in the kitchen, so they should know who Tabitha is. So it would be pretty hard to claim that they fell in love with Tabitha before they knew that Tabitha was part of the estate family. Because Tabitha is basically one of their employers. So it would be kind of odd if Flory didn't know who she looked like. I'm thinking. I'm thinking still. Oh, let's see. I think I need to actually go grab a bottle of water. So I'm gonna mull on this while I go to the kitchen and grab my water. So I'll be right back. Alright, I've returned with water. Make sure you are staying hydrated. That you've been eating your meals or getting snackies if you need them. I did grab some chocolate that I got while I was getting dinner. Our dinner plans fell through because Cheeky hurt her arm and I'm streaming tonight and I didn't want her to try to quickly make dinner and hurt her arm some more. So I decided to grab us a sub sandwich from Cousins. Because I had a coupon. And I felt bad that she had hurt her arm because she was really beat up about it. So I surprised her with some chocolate. And I got myself some chocolate because it was on sale. This is obviously not going to be a game that is wrapped up in this session. But I am fine with that, I think, depending on how this goes. Because I was really curious to see if I could solo this game. Or even just kind of turn it into a story writing tool. I actually have a fake marriage novel that I'll write eventually, maybe, if I can get the first book done. Completely different circumstances, though. Okay, alright, what was I... Okay, I was supposed to think of like, the lie that Flory would tell. Or what... Like, why... How they fell in love with Tabitha. It's probably a given that she would be beautiful and attractive. So probably not going to be that. Like that's weak. Weak sauce. We want strong sauce. Some excuse for Flory to be head over heels. Let's see. Ah, okay. Flory claims that During their work one day, they found a slip of paper, or a sheet of paper, left behind in the kitchens. And it had a poem. And it was a beautiful poem that touched the depths of their heart. And they wondered, who could have written this poem? Who could write words like this that made Flory feel like they were the only person to know Flory's heart? And they discovered that it was Tabitha. Tabitha had written the poem and accidentally left it in the kitchen when she snuck a snack one late night. And the truth of it is that Tabitha writes terrible poetry. So she claims that she fell in love with Flory's singing while they were singing in the kitchen one day. But Flory cannot sing. And Flory claims they fell for Tabitha, who wrote a life-changing poem. But Tabitha can barely make words rhyme together. Okay. Shared plans for the future. I think they would just tell people that they aren't planning on having children now, but it could happen in the future when, like, let's see. It wouldn't really do for Flory to keep working in the kitchen, but Flory would want to still pursue cooking in some way. So, because, you know, this marriage is temporary, and they are in agreement that they'll have a nice clean divorce so that Flory can get work afterwards, so that they don't lose their hopes of a career after the marriage gets dissolved. So I'm thinking perhaps Flory, and perhaps they don't even pay off those debtors. Maybe it was almost more like blackmail rather than debt or something like that. And it wasn't so much the money that gets them to leave, but the power of the Charez name. Because Flory would have married into the family and become Flory Charez. And then in the meantime, perhaps Tabitha and Flory use the family money to get Flory into some like cooking courses or something, like kind of like high class training, because right now they've just been sort of working their way up from like, you know, like dishwasher to line cook or something like that. But here they could get tutored by like world-class chefs or something like that. All right. And then maybe they claim that they want to start their own restaurant in the capital and make it like high-end fancy dining. So not just like eating there, but there would be like a small ballroom or something. Excuse me. All right, I'm gonna drink some water, which is leaking everywhere. Need a napkin. Yikes. It is puddling. I really gotta get a new water bottle. Keeps wanting to leak water out of the sippy part. Okay. Alright, so I have my characters. I have their lies, their falsehoods. Let us actually start playing the game. Alright, so now we take turns pulling from a deck of cards. So I think what I'll do, because, you know, I'm supposed to be playing opposite of another person, I'll just simply, you know, change to the active character over here. And that is who I am drawing a card for. And we'll say that maybe this is taking place before a honeymoon. Because they're, oh yeah, beginning with your debut as a newly married couple. Oh, I see. Play revolves around your appearances together at society events. Beginning with your debut as a newly married couple. Start with setting the scenes and introductions. Who's there, what's going on at tonight's festivities, and how it aligns with your plot. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be their first public appearance after their very quick marriage. And maybe they, oh, also too, something else that could tie into the whole like, oh, we're going to start a high-end restaurant in the capital. Maybe it will also feature live music, and that could tie into Tabitha's interests, because it is possible that she is a frequent patron of like musical spaces and concert hall type stuff in the city. Okay. So yeah, I get to draw a card now. Let me scroll to the gameplay prompts. Alright, and then we'll switch to the card decks. Drawing my first card, guys. Look, I'm actually playing the game. Woohoo! 2.5 hours. Alright, so we got spades. Oh, and we got a queen, which means that's a marital trial right off the bat. Okay. Wow, we are... So, okay, back to the dice roller. We're gonna roll d12. So we got an 8. Performance art! Won't you play something for us on the harpsichord? I heard you have a lovely voice. Come on, show me that parlor trick you did last summer, the one with the teaspoon and a coin. Partygoers are clamoring for entertainment. Each partner should roll a d8. The one with the lower roll has to perform. If you roll doubles, you have to perform together, and token changes are doubled. Each partner should roll a d8. The one with doubles has to perform. Oh, I see. It didn't... It doesn't say that you also add them together. Because it gives you 3 different outcomes based on the die rolls. But it just simply says that the one who rolls a D, the lowest number, is the one to perform. But you're actually also adding the 2 together, and that dictates how well it went. Okay. So first I'll roll for Tabitha as the active character. She got a 6. Oh, and Flory got a 1. So Flory is the one who has to perform. And that is a 7. So here's how it went. Maybe being watched this closely is putting you on edge. That was not your best work, and you have a feeling people are going to be tittering about it for weeks. What rude comment does your spouse, or both of you if you roll doubles, blurt out in the aftermath? -2 affection, negative plot. Oh man, and since we are already because we are at 0 already. Because we just started. You know what, I'm gonna check the rules again because I'm really not sure. Printed play sheet. Also too, like, if I put this play sheet here, that'll show you why I am a bit confused about whether or not you share one. So you can see here that there is a spot for name of both characters, and what I assume are character portraits. And then the plot, and then these tokens would go here. So I'm not entirely sure if this is meant for 2 people to share. Yeah, it doesn't. I almost think it is just shared. I'm gonna do it as shared. That's fine enough. Okay. Oops. That's not what I wanted. Delete it. Okay. Yeah, we'll wing it like this. Okay. So Flory is the one that had to perform. Let me scroll back down to the trial. And we got -2 affection, but we are at 0, so we can't go into negative. Instead, that converts to 2 suspicion. Oh boy. And then -1 plot turns into plus affection. Okay, okay. Ooh, this is actually gonna be, like, this is bad because suspicion is already at 2 out of 10. But it's gonna be, I feel like this is gonna be cute. Okay, so let me write a little thing, because at this point people would have known that the supposed reason that Tabitha fell for Flory is because of Flory's singing. So what are they gonna do? They're going to ask Flory to sing for them. Okay. Let's see. Let me also title this Marital Trial. Okay. The stares of everyone in the room made Tabitha want to hurl, even though they were directed at Florrie, not her. But it was her fault they were staring. She was the one that kept talking about Florrie singing, how it made her fall in love with them. As Florrie unsuccessfully tried to dodge and weave out of the situation, Tabitha couldn't help but wonder if Florrie hated her. She wasn't sure what made her feel more nauseous, the idea of Florrie hating her, or the idea of Florrie deciding this charade wasn't worth the humiliation they were about to experience. Florrie finally set their glass of wine down, cleared their throat, and began to sing. It was a well-known song, but one that children sang during springtime festivals. Needless to say, it wasn't very impressive, and Florrie's voice made it even less so. There were titters and giggles all around, barely whispered remarks of how Tabitha's ears must have been plugged with wax that day, or guesses that perhaps everyone had made Florrie too nervous to sing well. Tabitha's face burned as she tried to hide her face behind her small hand fan, but the attempt was futile. Not when her and Florrie's marriage was the hottest new event in the city. "Sorry, love," Florrie said when they approached her. "I was a bit nervous with everyone watching. I'm afraid I couldn't sing my best for you." Tabitha schooled her face into an expression of sympathy and caring, though in reality she was surprised. Was Florrie not angry with her? And they were even playing into the lie as if they didn't almost give away the ruse. "That's all right," she blurted before she could help herself. "I loved it. I love anything you sing, no matter how you sing it." Florrie's cheeks actually turned pink as the crowd around them murmured and cooed. The charade remained intact, but that was a close one. They would need to talk later about how to handle singing requests. But for now, Tabitha breathed a sigh of relief behind her fan and accepted Florrie's arm. Okay, that was fun. Alright. Okay, so, got 1 point of affection in there. Which is, not good for our characters. Was good for me. Eat some chocolate. Ugh, my water keeps dripping everywhere. Don't know why it does that. I think I'm gonna buy a new bottle soon. Okay, so time to draw another card. And let's see if we get a normal prompt or if we get another marital trial, because oof. Right off the bat. Okay, so we got a 4 of diamonds. So that is off the normal prompt tables. Let's see, diamonds and 4. Oh! Alright, so we're in Florrie's point of view. I meant to mention this before too, but another reason why I thought perhaps I could solo this game is because it is a duet. Because I thought that perhaps I could simply approach this from a dual point of view type of writing. Because dual POVs where you have, both of the love interests as point of views, usually as alternating chapters, that's a common thing in romances. So I was like, well, I could probably, do it that way, which is why I'm like, okay, so yeah, I'll just legit take turns. So now we're in Florrie's POV. Let me also indicate whose POV we're in. Okay. So here's the prompt. Are you more extroverted or more introverted than your spouse? Are you rubbing off on them? Are people noticing? And this one does not have a token change. So we are not impacting these. But if a character happens to do something that the other character would be kind of taken by, I would increase affection regardless. So let me think. I'm thinking that Floria is probably more outgoing than Tabitha is, for sure. The old man is trying to weasel bedtime dinner out of me early, but he's gotta wait. The bedtime dinner has to happen with little man's bedtime dinner, but little man cannot have early bedtime dinner, so they have to have bedtime dinner together. Okay. Married life was taking some time for Flory to adjust to, but not because of the new close proximity to another person that they were pretending to be madly in love with. Tabitha didn't go out much these days. She went to work at the government buildings 3 times a week and then came home, only attending social gatherings where it would be seen as extremely rude to not attend without good reason, or went to a performance at one of the several concert halls. Flory was used to being out and about on their free days. They worked way more than Tabitha, but it didn't stop them from visiting cafes with friends, seeing a play by some buskers, or going for walks to various nature spots in the city. At first, Flory was bored, especially since they were no longer working in the kitchens every day. But after a while, they realized something. They felt more rested, more energetic, and not being in the kitchen every day made them appreciate their time with the tutors more. They were able to focus on the lessons more, and Flory had to admit that their cooking skills were advancing more rapidly than they would have simply working in the kitchens. Flory was beginning to feel grateful for the way the married life was slowing things down. Maybe it wasn't so bad after all. There was a downside, though. Flory overheard Archduchess Aline expressing her disappointment that despite the marriage, Tabitha still seemed to prefer staying at home rather than returning to various social circles. Flory wondered if they were being too submissive about Tabitha's rejections to going out, and if they should try harder to convince her. It wouldn't be that bad to visit restaurants or parties together, right? Okay. Yeah, so this one didn't have any stat changes or tokens, no counter changes. So we can proceed. Let's see, so this one is going to be Tabitha. A 2 of spades. Oh, this one doesn't have any changes either. What do you think about what your spouse does for a living? Would you normally see yourself with someone like that? Oh, that is perfect. Especially since we were just talking about Flory and cooking. Ooh. I just had. Yeah. I think we are going to be gaining an affection point. Hmm. It just sort of slipped together. It just felt right. Okay. Tabitha hadn't thought much about Florrie's cooking. Since Florrie had been employed in the estate's kitchens up until the marriage, it meant that their cooking wasn't awful, and Tabitha had surely eaten it without any problems. She knew Florrie was serious about cooking since they were paying for tutors under the guise of opening up a restaurant together in the future, when it was actually to make sure Florrie would find employment again after they divorced. A person didn't just divorce the daughter of an archduchess without it being extremely hot gossip or even a scandal, and Tabitha wanted to make absolutely sure that Florrie wouldn't become destitute after the divorce. But until this day, a sunny afternoon, Tabitha hadn't directly engaged with Florrie's cooking. She was wandering through the estate, too restless to settle down and read like she usually did these days, and found herself passing the kitchens. Florrie was in the middle of a lesson with a tutor that specialized in high-class baking, if Tabitha remembered right, and she was never one to turn down a delicious baked good. She entered the kitchen, drawn by her curiosity and hope for a snack. The tutor noticed her arrival and nodded politely, but silently gestured for her to wait by the wall. Since this was the kitchen, and Tabitha felt out of place, she obeyed, ignoring the slight against her, a noblewoman and a mistress of the estate. Florrie, meanwhile, didn't seem to notice her arrival. They were focused on what they were making, though Tabitha had no idea what it was. It seemed to require great care and a large amount of whisking, and then a sudden banging of a sheet pan, and some anxious mutterings, while the tutor offered quiet encouragement. Then there was some careful watching of the oven, until finally, a huge sigh of relief was shared between both Florrie and the tutor, as Florrie pulled the pan out. On the pan were round discs, colorful little sandwich-like cookies. The tutor popped one in her mouth and gave an appreciative nod. Florrie positively beamed, their face glowing in a way that Tabitha had never seen before. While the cookies looked delicious and Tabitha itched to try one, she took advantage of no one paying her any attention and slipped back out of the kitchen. She didn't want to disturb Florrie's victory in their studies, and she also needed a distraction from the memory of Florrie's wide smile. I forgot a bit of a step. 1 second. I'm just revising this a little just to say that after some quick assembly, the pan was then covered in little sandwich-like cookies, because I was basically, very vaguely, describing them making macarons. Which I am, like, a little aware are a bit difficult to make, judging by the baking shows, baking competition shows I've seen. Okay, so this one didn't have any token changes, but I am going to mark +1 affection because it just kind of felt right in that moment. The previous moment didn't have any token changes either, but the way I wrote it didn't really feel like a Doki Doki kind of moment. Whereas this one felt more like a Doki Doki of the heart thumping. So, okay. Alright, we're at 202. And, yeah, let's see. It is 9:42. There we go. I don't know why it took me so long to find my clock. Okay. I probably could try to squeeze in another, but I should also make sure that I get to bed at a decent time tonight, because I have a lot of work to do tomorrow, and I think also work is going to be a pain. So I'm going to make sure that I have all of my thinking capacity tomorrow. But okay, yeah, so far so good. I think that, yeah, I can solo this. I feel like so far there's not much in the way of strategy, because like we are supposed to be faking it, but I'm not really, there's no judge of that so far. Like mechanically there's no judge. Like, okay, yeah, so I'm supposed to pretend, you know, like even if you're playing with somebody, you're both pretending, and yeah, you roll the dice and that tells you. But in the event that there isn't one, well, I suppose that I suppose the dice does tell you if but there's nothing to alter the dice, you know? Like in games with, you know, combat, you can roll for an attack, but sometimes you have abilities that can help boost that attack. My cat just did a stinky. It is time to end the stream. I am perishing. Oh my gosh. That is so stinky. Oh my stinky son. Don't know which one that is. It's that one. Oh, I'm gonna have to. I don't feel like eating it now after that. Oh, come on, get back in your box, thank you. Okay. Well, but, you know, it's a little early. I've only drawn 3 cards. Maybe, because there are the boiling points. Maybe the boiling would be kind of interesting to see how it goes. Pretty soloable if you're used to alternating point of views in reading and writing romance fiction, so so far I feel like I got like a nice little story going. All right, then we're gonna wrap things up for the night. It's actually pretty good because now yeah, I'm starting to feel a little sleepy. But I got some emails that I need to take care of. We're gonna snooze that ad because we are gonna be leaving. Let's see. Oh, I feel like I got sneeze. Alright. So we're gonna raid into Raguna's stream because Raguna is a pretty chill guy. Looks like he's playing Crime Scene Cleaner again, which is a simulator game where you clean up stuff, but that is weird stuff. Oh, you're back! Oh, you've been back. Okay. We're leaving now, London. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I'm wrapping up now for the night. But I could give you a brief rundown of what you've missed if you'd like, real quick. I am sitting mostly straight. I was leaning a little bit, but only because I was looking around past my microphone. Yeah, I could give a brief overview of the prompts that just happened, if you'd like, before we raid out of here. You know, I bet if I made this a little bit bigger. That's okay, I'm glad I caught you. Yeah, I'm glad too. I'll always spare a few extra minutes for you on stream. I just don't know how far back I need to go. You could do a quick recap. Yeah, I could do. I'll do it from the top. Except for like the whole marriage thing, I spent enough time on that today, I think. But my first card turned out to be a marital trial right off the bat. So we took a hit to the suspicion already gained a point of affection to because right off the bat, Flory had to perform in front of people. And the whole thing is that Tabitha fell in love with Flory after hearing them sing. But Flory cannot actually sing very well. And so the performance didn't quite land. Yeah, kinda. Even though it was an awkward situation, Flory didn't seem to be mad at Tabitha or anything. And it kind of made her blurt out a little thing like, "Oh, I loved it. I love anything you sing, no matter how you sing it." And there was a little bit of a doki doki going on. And then I had a prompt for Flory's point of view. Because I don't know if you were around for it, but I said that I forgot to mention that in romances, sometimes there's alternating point of views where each chapter is the one of the two leads. And so that's what I'm going to be doing here, since the game is sort of like that, where you take turns with the other player. So I was like, oh, okay, so yeah, so it's like alternating POVs. So the next one was Flory. And it was just a little thing. There was no stat changes, no token changes for this one. But Flory was reflecting on how, now that they're not working every day in the kitchens, married life felt boring at first, especially since Tabitha doesn't go out much. However, it has had the upside where they're able to slow down, they're more well rested, they're able to focus on their studies, and their cooking skills are actually getting better because they can focus on their tutor more. However, they did overhear the Archduchess expressing disappointment that despite the marriage, Tabitha was still staying at home a lot. And so Flory was like, was thinking perhaps they've been maybe too submissive in Tabitha's decisions to stay home. Maybe it wouldn't be that bad to go out and go to parties or visit restaurants together. And then the next one was another prompt that didn't have token changes, but because it felt appropriate, I did add an affection point. So now we are at 2 affection. Looks like when I increased the font sizes, everything. No, I want to. Thank you. Click, drag. Thank you. There we go. So I made the font bigger. Oh my god. Let me. You. Ah. Eh. Eh. Whatever. I'll fix it later. Anyway, we're at 2 affection, 0 plot, and 2 suspicion now. But in this scene, it was something to do with a career. But yeah, so Tabitha got to watch, without Flory knowing it, got to watch one of Flory's tutoring lessons, where they were basically making macaron cookies, or macarons, the fancy ones, not the coconut ones. And it was a very, very intensive session, very focused. They didn't even know that she was in the kitchen. And she just sort of quietly watched, and the cookies were a success. They came out perfectly, with great relief on both the tutor and Flory's parts. And Tabitha saw Flory with like a big beaming smile on their face that they had never seen before. Can I snooze that again? I guess not. Shoot. Sorry, guys. I was gonna write out, but so I snoozed the ad, but now I can't push it back. So yeah, so she wound up leaving because she didn't want to disturb Flory's victory, and also needed a distraction from the memory of that smile. So I was like, yeah, this feels like a plus affection part. So yeah, getting underway in the game. Oops. There we go. Yeah. So there we go. And yeah, I've decided that we're gonna raid into Raguna's stream. Let me see how long he's been live. Oh, he's been live for 6 hours. My gosh. Not gonna leave, is he? Or like, because I was like, oh, you know, I should raid into Raguna because he's pretty chill and it's chill time now. Let's see. I'm gonna go silent for a moment. Oh, he's not even talking. It might be fine. Okay. Let me get the raid message. All right. So yeah, thanks everybody for coming along. I hope you enjoyed the characters in the story forming. I think that's pretty fun. Like I said, this is one of my favorite tropes for like dramas and stuff. So Good time for me. Hope you guys are also having a good time. My next stream will be on Thursday. It's going to be FF14. It'll be on the chill side. I should actually hit the raid button. And yeah, same time. Oh, and the ad is finishing. So yeah. See you then. And safe travels through the veil. Bye bye.